So this is a simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript project for beginners. Now, before we start, I'd like to thank you for subscribing my channel. Let's get this project done. Alright guys, now let's create our folder. We're gonna call it portfolio. Although it's not a portfolio, it's a small and mini project. But nevertheless, we call it portfolio. Let's run our VS Code. Now here it is. So let's start setting our project up. Now the first thing I need to do is to create an index.html and a style.css and then script.js, because this is a HTML, CSS, and JS project, and I am going to bring my photo in. This is my photo. Let me rename it. Say image. It's cleaner. Now let's create our HTML snippets. Now we're gonna call it portfolio. Sorry, what did I do? Portfolio, and then we're gonna bring our font awesome icon, font awesome link here, CDN.js. Here I'm gonna bring our Roboto fonts, and here I'm gonna put my CSS file. It is always perfect to have a clean code. So let's say CDN.js for font awesome. So if you just type CDN.js, you're gonna go to this link, and all you have to do is to copy this link, then bring it down here. So this is the font awesome. And now let's go for Roboto. All you have to do is to just type out Roboto and then go to this website, Google, and get the font. So simple. So I'm going to put it right under the font awesome. Now the CSS file, I'm going to use the link tag, and here href, I'm going to connect my style.css. Now let's up above the closing body tag, I'm going to add my script.js. Sorry, script.js src, and here it is. And I'm going to say script. That's it. So this is the starting setup of our project, and then h1 hello world. Now let's run the project. All right, now this is hello world, as you can see. Now all we need to do is to start creating our project. Now I'm gonna erase this h1, and I will start from the top of the project. I will say this is the main section. So let's create a section with the class of let's say wrapper. Inside the wrapper, I'm gonna have a wrapper, let's say left, and let's have a right. So inside the left, we're gonna have a left top. Let me close this one and let me make it bigger. So left top inside this. So this is the left part, and this is the right part. Now this is the left top, so we're going to create a div left top. Inside left top, we're going to have an h1 welcome. My name is John, and I work as a now this is the time to create the h2. We say h2 photographer. Now here it is. This is the beginning of our project. Now you have to be careful that I have, just pay attention that I have live server running. This is the reason that when I save the project, it changes. things in my project changes automatically and I don't have to refresh the file every time. As you can see, if I add a h3 and say test, you can see it is added. That is because of this live extension for the VS Code. So if you don't have it, please set it up because it's very useful and it's very, it just helps you save your time. So now after that, let's create a p tag. Inside p tag, we're going to create a lorem 30, and I think that's it. Now under the left top, we're going to create a left bottom, and inside that we're going to create a div with the class of left bottom. Inside left bottom, we're going to create two buttons. One of them is going to have the class of resume and the other one is going to have the class of hire. Now inside each of these buttons, we're going to bring our icons. Now the first one has the icon of download and then resume. Now the next one, which is the hire, is going to have the icon of suitcase, and then we have hire me. So this is it. Well, I think we're pretty much done with the HTML, but no, sorry, we have the right section of the HTML. Now let's go to the right work. All we have to do for this one is to just add the image, and that's it. Now we're done with the HTML. Now let's go to our style.css. In style.css, we're going to start with our default styling, which is the margin 0, padding 0, box sizing is going to be border box, and then we're going to just let it go for now. Let's clear a color palette for ourselves, color variables. So we're going to say the BG color should be 014184. This is going to be our text color. Our text color is going to be white. Let's go for the primary color, which is going to be EC. And then let's go for secondary color, which is going to be actually the tomato color. And the next one is going to be the yellow, the green. I don't know if it's green or not. I'm terrible in colors, so sorry if I make a mistake. I actually don't know what color is that, so I'm just going to name it green. So that's it. Now let's go for the body tag. Now the font family is going to be Roboto, as we said before. So now we say that the color should be var text color. So it's going to be white. So now let's go for the wrapper. I think we called this section wrapper. Yes. Let's go for the wrapper, and we say it should have a background color of var bg color. As you can see now, this is how our project looks so far. So let's give it a height of 100 view height. Now we should give it a display grid. Now we're gonna say the justify content should be center and align items should be center as well. Now the grid template columns should be 1FR, 1FR. Now we have two 1FRs next to each other. Now the thing is that we actually haven't there's something we need to do with this image because this is oversized. It's very big, that actually covered all of the area. So what we need to do is to just say the wrapper, inside the wrapper there's a right, and inside that right there's an image. So this should have a width of 100, and we're gonna give it a height of 100%. Sorry, I forgot to say percent. 100%. Now we should say object position should be center, and the object fit should be object fit should be cover. Now this is it. So object position center, object fit cover. Correct. Now let's give this wrapper a padding only from left. So here's how we can get it done. We can say padding 0, 0. So it means 0 from the top, 0 from the right, 0 from bottom, and 5% from left. So we have just 5% padding from this side of the project. Now, this is it. Now let's go for the, I think we're, with the right side, we're pretty much done. Now let's go for the left side of the project. We say wrapper left, and we're going to give it a height of 100%. Now the display should be flex, and the flex direction should be column. Now let's give it a justify content center and align items of flex start. Now let's go for the wrapper and the left side, but the H1. Now the font size should be 80 pixels. And the font weight should be 900, so you can see that this is very thick. Now let's go for the wrapper left and H2. We're gonna give the same thing, but not the same thing. We're gonna make it actually bigger. We're gonna give it a font size of 110 pixels, which actually makes this photographer very big. And we're gonna give it a font weight of 900, which is actually the boldest one. And also we're gonna give this, so we're done with that. Let's go for the wrapper left and p tag. With the p tag, we're gonna give it a font size of 20 pixels, so the text is now bigger. Let's give this a line height of 1.8, or let's say 1.9, I think is better. Now let's give it a margin of 15 pixels from top and bottom, and 0 from left and right. Now this is it. I think there's one more thing we need to do with the right side of the project. Just give me one moment, because, well, the right image. Yes, now let's go for, there's one more thing we need to do with the right side of the project, which is this one. Let me comment here right, so you can just easily find it. Now, the wrapper and the right side should have also as well a height of 100%. So this image is actually just gets the whole area, as you can see. Now it should just get the whole area. Now, also we need to just make the display flex, and let's just give it a justify content center and align item centers in case we put something here. So this is it. Now I'll make this one bigger. So let's go for the left side again. Now after p tag, we're gonna go for the this H2. Well, let me just put the other H2s here. We have 2 more H2s that we need, because I want to show you what we actually are going to do with these H2s. So I'm going to copy it 2 more times. Now you can see here we have photographer 2 more times. Now what I'm going to do is to write a YouTuber here, because this is the second job we're going to write, and a designer, as you remember. Now I'm going to give this one a class of photographer. Now this is going to have a class of YouTuber. Now this one's going to have a class of a designer. Now let's go to the style here, and now let's say that the wrapper left and the class of photographer should have a color of our green color. Now as you can see, this photographer has this color. Now I'm going to select them by the classes. wrapper left and YouTuber is going to have a color var. We're gonna go for the secondary color. So this is the YouTuber. Now for the designer, left designer, we're going to choose the color of primary color, so the designer. Now I'm going to it just was a model that I wanted to show you. Here's the thing that we're going to do in JavaScript. I'm going to comment these two. So this is the thing that you see. Then we're going to see this one, the YouTuber. Then we're going to see this one, which is the designer. So I'm going to just show them, make them show up one by one, and we're going to add a beautiful effect at the end of this text. This is the mean of our project. So let's go back to our style CSS. There is one more thing that we need to do. Two more things actually. First, we need to style our buttons. So let's go for the wrapper left, and let me check inside the HTML. We have left bottom. So this is the container left bottom. We're going to give it a display of flexing gap of 10 pixels. Then we can say wrapper left bottom. Now let's select the buttons. So each button should have a here are our buttons. Now each button should have a padding of 15 pixels from the top and bottom, 25 pixels from left and right, and then let's have a border radius of 10 pixels. Let's give it a border of none and a font size of 18 pixels. Now let's give it a cursor pointer. As you can see, they look now so much better. Now let's go for the one with resume, the class of resume, which is actually the first button here. This has the class of resume. I'm gonna give it a background color of var, primary color, and for the hire button, which is the second one, hire me, I'm going to give it a background color of let's say transparent. So I'm going to make the color transparent, but I'm going to give it a color of var text color. Now let's give it a border 1 pixel solid var. I'm gonna use the primary color. Now what did I do wrong here? A border. I think the mistake that I made is that I need to say this border none. This border none I should just give it to this one, to the resume, because I want the resume not to have a border, not to all of them. So the higher has now a border of 1 pixel. Let me try 2 pixels. Yeah, I think 1 pixel is better. Now, very good. Now inside the button, I'm going to use a display of flex, and we're gonna give it an align items of center and a gap of 5 pixels. So now the buttons and the texts are very well suited. So I think we are now with the buttons done. Let's go for the animation and our blinking cursor. So let's say the blinking cursor should have a font weight of bold, and then we're going to give it an animation of blink. It's going to take 8 milliseconds and it's going to be infinite. And now the keyframes blink is going to start from 0% with the opacity of 1. Now the 50% at the middle is going to have a opacity of 0. Now the 100%, which is again the opacity of 1. It makes actually the cursor to show up, go away, and show up again. Now, I think we are completely done with the HTML and CSS side of the project. Now let's go straight for the JavaScript section of the project. All right, guys, now let's go for the JavaScript code. Now, before we start, check that we correctly connected our JavaScript. As you remember, I added my JavaScript up above this closing body tag. Now, to test that and to make sure that it works correctly, I'm going to console log hi. Now, if I go to my browser's console, I should see this hi here. Now, let's refresh. See, there's no error. Now, I'm going to close up the console and I'm going to start writing our code. So let's start with document, add event listener. Let's say DOM content loaded, and we're going to create our function, and inside that function we're going to write the whole code. Sorry. Now let's define our variables. Const text element is going to be document. We're going to use query selector, and let's see our h2 is inside. Let's go to the, so you say we have here wrapper, and inside wrapper we have a left, inside left we have a left top, the class of left top, and inside left top we have the h2. So we need to select the left, the class of left top h2. So this is our text element. Now let's define the const of roles, which is actually the job names I'm going to define. I am going to create an object here. I will say that the text is, for the first one is the photographer, and I'm going to give it a class name because the colors are going to be different, and I'm going to use classes to differentiate the colors. Photographer, and this is the first one. I'm going to copy them 2 more times. YouTuber, the class is going to be YouTuber, and this one's going to be designer, and the class should be as well designer. Now I'm gonna define a variable called role index 0. I'm gonna just set it to default. I'm going to assign it to default of 0, and let car index, and I'm going to assign it to the default of 0 again. Now you say, when I say index, means for example this character John, this word John has 4 characters. Now when we say car index, means the index of J is 0, the index of O is 1, H2 and 3. So this 4 letter word has actually 3 indexes, means 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now using role index and using car index, we're going to just get the control of the index of roles and the index of characters one by one. So because we want to create a typing effect. Now let's create the function of type add, or function, we don't have to write function, we say type effect. Now inside the function we're going to call it type effect as well. We're going to create a conditional. We say if car index is less than roles, and inside roles we're going to say role index, and inside the role index there's the text, and we're going to say the text length. The text element inner HTML should be equal to, we're going to create a span here, and let me close up the span. Now this span should definitely have a class, so we're going to have to add a class name here. We're going to use the $sign because I use backticks here. You be careful, you can add backticks using the key next to 1. Let me show you on my on-screen keyboard. This is the backtick. So if I just put it right here, this is the backtick. So be careful that I didn't use quotation marks. I use backticks, and here's how I can use write variables, put variables inside this span using backticks, not using quotation marks. So inside this, I'm going to write roles and role index, and I'm gonna just select the class name. This is it. Now inside the span, I am going to go for the roles, and I am going to select the role index, and let's get the text substring, and I'm gonna say 0, and then car index is gonna be +1. So we're gonna add to the characters one by one, and we're gonna start from the 0 index, which is the first letter. Now after that span, we're going to add another span, I think. We're going to add a span, and we're going to close. This is actually our cursor. I'm creating our cursor, and inside the cursor, we're going to create just a sign like that. And this sign, how did I make it? Just put shift, and this is the right key, the backslash. This is the right key to make this sign, cursor sign. This is actually the sign of OR in JavaScript. So I put it right here. Let me give it a class name. The class should be, actually, you can just put it hard coded. You don't have to just, you don't need to make it a dynamic. Blinking cursor. If you remember, in our CSS file, I created a blinking cursor. Oh, thank God, I saw this cursor. I actually had a typo, and thank God I saw it and I fixed it. Now you have to just hard code your class for the span. That's all. Now the next move is to let's say here we have span, and you're gonna have to car index plus. So using car index plus, you're gonna add you're going to add to this characters step by step, and after that we're gonna have to create a set timeout. So we say set timeout, and we're gonna call for type effect, and we're gonna put a 8 seconds, and we're gonna say else set timeout. So we're gonna then call for a function which is called reset effect. Now don't worry, we're going to just create our reset effect, and we're gonna make it 3000. Now in order to create our reset effect, we go under this function and create the function of reset effect. Now let's say car index is equal to 0. Now we're gonna say the role index is equal to role index +1. So we're going to just with this line, we're going to go to the next occupation. So after photographer, you should go to YouTuber, index 1, index 2 designer, and then you're gonna have to reset it when the role's length is over. Now the text element inner HTML, should, now we use backticks again. Now we put our span here. The class should be blinking cursor. And let's close up this span, and inside that we're gonna put this cursor sign and set time out. We're gonna add the type effect here and 100 milliseconds. Now this is it. Now all we need to do is to call for the type effect function right here, now under the reset effect. So here it is, as you can see. Thank you for watching. If you had any ideas about my videos, positive, negative questions, please drop me a comment. Thanks a lot.